Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above. The 33rd week of the year has come and gone, so today we're going to recap a video I put out a couple weeks ago to prepare everyone for this recent market volatility, and then of course we'll go over the charts to see the setup for the rest of this week. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say that I appreciate every single one of you. We recently hit 45,000 subscribers and on our way to 50K. It's been an amazing journey growing this community, and I'm so grateful for all of you. It might take a little time to get to 50K, but when that happens, we'll be celebrating with a giveaway. And in the meantime, if you can, just leave a comment below and let us know when you started following my work and joined the Wolf Pack. I'd love to know when you became a supporter of the channel. Again, I'm super grateful for every single one of you. Appreciate all of your support. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow our community. And if you want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. The link to my website can be found in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the clear pill. So, a couple of weeks ago, we were discussing the 33rd week of the year, and I actually made a video called Watch Out for the 33rd week of 2022, which came out about 1 week before the 33rd week happened. And I was putting a lot of emphasis on the dates of August 15th into August 16th. And I just want to go over this and review the Dow Jones chart because we actually saw that was a critical date for the markets as a whole. And as you can see right here, August 16th was actually the high point pivot. And since then, there's been a market turnaround. And what's so interesting about this happening on August 16th, and one of the reasons why I actually shared this date with everyone, was because August 16th leaves 137 days left in this year, and 137 is the 33rd prime number, and this happening in the 33rd week of the year. And the Dow Jones closed on the same week around 33,000 points. And it was also the same week that XRP actually came down to 33 cents. So this is, pretty amazing stuff how we're seeing this code come to fruition, not only by the dates, but also by the prices. So one of the other things to mention was the connection between the 16th of August going back to actually the start of the Shemitah on Rosh Hashanah of 2021. And you can see right here, when you connect these two dates together, it's 343 days. And 343 is 7 times 7 times 7. And of course, that's, the 49th week in between. So that 49, the 7th prime, I mean, it's just really amazing how we saw this number 7 code come to fruition on this exact same date and it playing itself out in the Shemitah year. Again, the Shemitah being the 7-year cycle. So one other connection to be made, not only with the 343, which is 7 times 7 times 7, but these dates both have the 21 date numerology, and 21 is 7 plus 7 plus 7. So it was a very, very powerful date. Anyone who was prepared for that onto the 15th into the 16th, I mean, even for Bitcoin, that was our pivot high on the Bitcoin chart. And that was the start of the 33rd week of the year. You could see right there, August 15th was a Monday, the day of the moon. And that was the big, critical connection to be made here between the date of the 15th into the 16th, thus far being the short-term top for the indices and as well Bitcoin. It's pretty amazing how that's come to play. And I just want to show one more thing that's interesting about a recent move we had in the market. On the 19th of August, you see this bigger red candle right here. So whether you were paying attention to this day or not, it's amazing that this bigger red candle that we got on the 19th of August, if you pause the video right here, you're going to see up where that is. It's going to say 10.17%. So on this day, Bitcoin dropped 10.17. And if you just do numerology, you remove the 0, and that's 117. And as you guys are probably aware by now, following my work, Bitcoin equals 117. So we hit the pivot point on the exact date target, coming down into the 19th, hitting that 10.17% drop. I mean, pretty amazing, and a connection to be made here between the 19th of August and the last day of Rosh Hashanah, turning into the year of the Shemitah. So you could see that would be the 8th of September of 2021, and that's giving you 11 months and 11 days, the 11/11. And I spoke about these two dates already. I just wanted to share this because, again, that was all about the 33rd week of the year. So when I made that title, Watch Out for the 33rd Week, it wasn't clickbait. I'm genuinely trying to help everyone see the power of this code. And I'm making videos, 1 week, 2 week, maybe even sometimes 1 month in advance with key dates to help you all calmly navigate this market and be prepared ahead of time. I know the wolf pack gets it, but anyone who's new here, I get it. This is a lot of information. It could be overwhelming at times, seeing all these numbers and the Gematria, and I get it. And, that's really why this community that we have here is so incredible, because you ask the questions to us and we're going to do our best to help. What's amazing about our Discord server in our mastermind community is we have people that are coming from a decoding background, whether that be from Gematria or, just decoding logos and symbolism. We have people that are interested in astrology and different forms of astrology, and this really helps, especially with all the people that are interested in TA and taking what they're seeing in the charts, connecting it to the more esoteric data with the decoding information, and it's giving us a really big edge on the market. So I appreciate everyone for all the positive feedback, but we definitely did get some people that were, kind of confused as to how that 33rd week of the year would play out. And what I always respond to those people with is just be patient, be calm, because this code, again, I'm not trying to enforce my opinion here. I'm just doing my best with my experience and how long I've been doing this, and applying what I'm seeing at the best of my ability while also reviewing the charts. And the charts don't lie. And once you get better at technical analysis and you actually see what's going on and you know what true technical analysis is, it's not as much of a gamble or a guessing game. It actually becomes a little bit more structured and predictable. So one of the other things that I mentioned regarding Bitcoin in the past 2, maybe 3 videos was that I was anticipating if there was going to be a pullback, we would hold this level around 21K. The bigger reason for that 21K is, of course, there's a structural purpose. Right here, we have a couple of daily closes, consecutive daily closes holding 21K before popping up to the top of this parallel channel, revisiting it one more time, having multiple rejections at the top of this parallel channel. Then, once we broke this heart line, which is this dotted yellow line in the center, that was definitely a time to consider that larger correction down to the bottom of the parallel channel. Now, I'm not here to validate necessarily the pattern, but it's just the overall price targets. So holding the 21,000 level, I had a lot of conviction behind that, because 21 again is 7 plus 7 plus 7. It comes back to the number 7, and we're still in the year of the Shemitah. As long as we're in this year, we're going to see a lot of Saturn coding. And what I mean by that is, again, Saturn equaling 21 in full reduction and in Chaldean. And that is so important because we're in the year of Saturn. That's what Shemitah is. It's the sabbatical year, or the Saturn year. So another connection to be made is this date of August 19th was also the 69 date numerology, just like Saturn giving you that 6-9. So this was also the transition date into the day of Saturday, or Saturn day. So we're going to move on from this, but now that we've seen this all come and go, I think right now it's not about proving what we're doing here. That doesn't need to be done. We have video after video after video showing all these critical pivot points and talking about very, very important, astrological components to bigger corrections or bigger pumps in the market. So I'm just sharing this because I really want to help people. I really want people to see clearly and not get so emotional, not get so worried, not get so caught up in the theater of whatever's coming out on social media. Focus on this code, learn it, Go watch the videos. There's almost 200 videos on this channel where you guys can go back, see the development of how the last year and a half, almost 2 years have been playing out. Take notes and you're going to learn a lot. Trust me on that. So one of the other things to say is this date today, connecting to the last day of, or actually just Rosh Hashanah, is 33 days. So you could see August 24th connected to the 26th of September, the day of the Shemitah coming to its conclusion, and that's 33 days. So this 33 code has been really showing up a lot in my work, and I'm super excited for the end of this sabbatical year. I mean, I can't believe how far we've made it. I've been talking about this cycle and this specific year now for well over a year, and it's just amazing watching it all come to pass. And I'm sure anyone that's been following this work for over a year, you know, you've been gathering this data and watching it play itself out. So speaking of that number 33, 33 days until the end of the Shemitah, and then tomorrow will actually be 1 month and 1 day, or 4 weeks and 4 days until the end. So this again, today is the transition day into this day, and we have the 11 and we have that 44. So 2 master numbers in a row, the 33 into the 11, and then we have that power number of the 44. And we're officially actually in the 34th week of the year as of 2 days ago. And now we're kind of pivoting out of that energy into the upcoming new moon. And we spoke a little bit about this on my recent Red Pill podcast. I was talking about the setup for the end of the Shemitah and how it could go, especially since we had a premature bullish new moon. And then lately we've had a larger correction pullback into the 33rd week of the year. So of course it was isolated by the code. And now getting back to the lunar cycle, we're about 3 days away from the new moon. And we know the new moon typically has a bullish energy 5 days before, up to 5 days after. And in some instances, we've even seen, you know, up to 10. But what that means is, as we get into this first quarter moon into September 3rd, you know, that would be probably the time frame to see a little bit of recovery before we get to that September full moon. And that September full moon, again, into the finality of the Shemitah being on a Saturday. So Saturn full moon, Saturday, I don't know. It's probably going to be a very interesting market leading up into the end of the Shemitah cycle. And thus far, the TA that I shared in my last Red Pill podcast, I think was very revealing of how the overall stock market behaves, because we went over the Dow Jones, we went over the NASDAQ, and we went over the DXY, and kind of tied it all together with the crypto market to get a little bit more clarity on what's the next move, because so far we're actually seeing a lot of repeatability between the cycles of 1973, this 2008 housing market crisis, the 2000-2001 dot-com bubble. Again, these are all Shemitah cycles. I'm just personally focused a lot on 1973 because 1973, I believe, was the last Jubilee. I believe we are about to enter Jubilee again, debt Jubilee, on the 27th of September. So again, we are 33 days away from the Jubilee. Let's get into some of the TA. So just a quick recap of some of what's going on here. This has become irrelevant because you guys are aware we had a 10.1% correction, which is the 117, Bitcoin equaling the 117, or the mirror of 711. You have this red trend line right here, which has been a resistance for quite a while, up until we broke out of it leading into late July. And then we had multiple trading days just riding on the outside of it, essentially confirming it as a new support. But it's a descending trend line. Therefore, if we backtest it again as a support, we're just going to make another low. So thus far, we're actually starting to break structure slightly, but this is cryptocurrency, and we have to remember this is more volatile. So when we're getting into TA regarding daily closes exceeding prior daily closes, just be a little bit more open-minded. So this is interesting in the setup because now we've actually gotten back into our parallel channel. You can see this parallel channel is just drawn to the wicks. I have the first wick touch, the second, and then here we've broke down for a couple of days and got back into it. So the one in red was to backtest this trend line. The two in this this blue color was to test the bottom of this parallel channel, which we've only been below for 2 days and then got back within, and we've closed pretty much the last three straight days into this parallel channel again. And then we have the yellow 3, which was this essentially horizontal trading range that we had between this level here of around 20,800 and into this level right here, which was 22.6. That was a key level because as we started to see a turnaround, and I'm going to show you the technical turnaround, but remember this level right here of 22,600. I'm going to turn all these drawings off. I'm going to put on these exponential moving averages, and you're going to see that that was also around the time where the EMA band started to cross into a more bearish posture, where the 13 exponential crossed below the 34 exponential. So we have a lot of things coming to fruition all at once. We had all those trend lines, plus we had this EMA band going from a bullish posture to a bearish one, and we get a pullback. Now, because we're in crypto, pullbacks are fast, they're violent, they shake people out, and they're scary. But those of you that are here in the wolf pack, you know this is just another day in the matrix. So let's just quickly review some things that might be of consideration for the remainder of this week. Let me hide these drawings and see what's up. Okay, so another thing that happened on this recent weekly close is we did break below the 8 simple moving average, which isn't quite normal, but that was indicative of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange opening up on Sunday night. We have Forex and the Dow Jones opening up on Sunday night right before the close. It brought downside pressure. That downside pressure came in at the very last minute, and then we get a close below. It's kind of fine though, because overall we're still in what could potentially be a W pattern, a W structure, where this would be your first W, this would be your confirmed neckline, and this could be your potential second V of the W, something sort of like this. And I know it's going to get messy, but just imagine what I'm drawing. So you can see that W right there. Now, going a little bit more into the 2-day, 3-day, 5-day, because I think that could be a topic of conversation for this. We might see some things that could be important. So again, a closure below the 8 simple moving average on the 5-day, then you get your bigger drop. So pay attention to those 5-day, 3-day closures because they do matter quite a bit. As for any other moving averages, they're all above, so it's irrelevant at this time. Again, another, right there, you could see it's perfectly closing right on that transition point, and then we move into the 33rd week of the year, break structure, pullback. Yep. Incredible. So now we're starting to see on this daily that we're pretty much back into a bearish posture regarding all the exponential moving averages and the simple moving averages, but they're just very coiled together. And the EMA that is at the top right now is 22,600, which is a sneeze away. So Waters, what does that mean in English? It means that we had a wolf cross happen with the yellow moving average below the 55, below this white moving average, but with a downside implied. On top of that, we have the EMAs in a bearish posture where the 13 is below the 21, which is below the 34. All of this is a sign of this is going to take a second or so to kind of figure itself out, coil up, perhaps the Bollinger Bands constrict, and then we make our next move. So until we start closing dailies above that 55 again, above 22.2, it could be a short-term resistance. So the reason I say that, I'm talking about this white moving average right now, is because ever since we had this breakdown going to the transition into April, we started to get rejected on this initial pump at the 55. You could see all these daily closes going below that white moving average. And then finally, when we broke above it and started trading above it, we held it for a while. And then we had that wolf cross I was talking about where the yellow moving average got above the 55 moving average, and that was upside implied. And that did come to fruition because if you're taking from lows to highs, it's a pretty decent move for Bitcoin over the course of about 2 months. And it looks very arduous. It's very boring, very unlike crypto to be all these small kind of jagged walk to the upside. But now that we've had this technical pullback into this structure of 21 into the high 20,000 area, that's actually pretty nice to see. And that's the sort of fake out that you get at the very last minute to engage any upside momentum. So I'm more biased actually that we could be ending the Shemitah around late September with our final move to the upside, somewhere around 30K. And that's not a prediction. That's just based on how I've seen prior cycles operate. And it really, really depends on how they want to ritualize this, because typically before they set us onto new lower lows or what could be like a dead cat bounce scenario for the indices, you're typically going to see a little bit of euphoria before that moment happens. So again, that's not an opinion. You could go look back at every single Shemitah since the past 100 years, whether you want to look at the Dow Jones, or if you want to really look at like a volatile market, look at the NASDAQ during like the dot-com bubble. You see that you get these like dead cat bounce final bull traps to the upside, and then it corrects, breaks your lower structure, and then you enter another lower low. So until Bitcoin really starts closing a daily below 18,900, we're structurally fine right now. I mean, of course, this isn't what people are used to, because I'm sure a lot of people got into crypto around this stage. For anyone who got into crypto around this stage, this is kind of just part of that recycling of the players of the market, whether that be retail or that be institutional investors reallocating their portfolios, etc. So let's move on to Ethereum. Oh, actually, let me give you the price targets real quick, because that should matter. So right now, holding 20,800 would definitely be key. And if we can't, we're going to swipe down to the next level, somewhere around 19,300. That would probably be, one of those moments of what I would call a bear trap to send us for one final move if that happens really soon. So if that type of move happens before the end of this month, then I would anticipate September might be at least a retest of 24 to 25K. But then as for upside, any daily closes above this 55 simple, somewhere around 22,300, I do actually anticipate engaging a move at least back into 24K. That would be this horizontal trading range of resistance. And you could see right here, it's pretty clear. Got rejection, rejection, rejection. I know there's a lot on this chart, but you get the point. So right here, we have a chart that's very clean. And if I was to show you this horizontal trading range, it would make some sense to you. So somewhere around there. Got your rejection, multiple rejections, and then even a bigger dump afterwards, which confirms that 24K is definitely an area that's going to be a little bit tough to break through. Now, regarding any further continuation, then that tells us that now that we've had a larger correction back to support, if we were to break over 24K into 25K, probably on a 2-day or 3-day closure, that would probably be the move that takes us into 28, 29, 30K. And that'd be a nice final move for the altcoins as well. So let's get to Ethereum. Now, ETH is in a really incredible structure as well, because we have this firmament dome that I started playing with thanks to a member over in our Discord for sharing their experimental firmament dome with me, because then I went ahead and made my own, and it's actually been really helpful because it got us gravitated all the way to the level of the initial rejection before the backup phase, and then my key target that I shared months ago of $2,000 Ethereum. So now that ETH has hit my $2,000 target, I'm fine with that. And regarding the back test here, perfectly on the firmament dome. So as you can see, we got all of these rejection points at this dome. Coming back down to retest that and then bouncing, that looks pretty incredible. Now, the only thing that I know some people might be worried about is perhaps a short-term micro head and shoulders. So you have, this is really awkward, but it's something like this. I'm talking micro. So I'm starting right there and then like coming back down, and any break into this below 1400 level, that would probably anticipate wash down to the neckline of this prior fractal. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So right here, you have this neckline right here of the W. Got that W, and we just blasted right through it. So usually what happens is you back test the necklines. That never happened on ETH. And it never happened because because Bitcoin was pretty bullish at that time. And when Bitcoin has multiple bullish days, the altcoins catch up. Bitcoin dominance rolls over. That liquidity has to go somewhere. It's going to go to ETH. It's going to go to ETH more likely now than it's going to go to a lot of other altcoins, because a lot of those other altcoins were perpetually moved up by retail, and most retail has left. So those final people who are mostly leveraged traders, mostly people that are holding long term, they're the last of the Mohicans. So as for the recent pullback, it is very similar to Bitcoin, actually, where we did break slightly below structure, but then we popped right back above it, essentially what we call a fake out. And this all happening in the 33rd week of the year. and trading back into $1,500. And that's really important because remember, 1,533. So we have the number 15 and 33. And ETH, the ticker symbol, is 33 and 15. So this is very important. I am really, really interested to see how ETH plays through the rest of the Shemitah, because in the last cycle, well, first of all, Ethereum wasn't trading in the last Shemitah of 2014, 2015. This coin will have its first sabbatical cycle, and it's been maintaining its number 2 position for a while. And if you look at the coin market cap or CoinGecko or something of that sort, you're going to see that like third and fourth are mostly just stable coins like USDT, USDC. And then after that is like a huge gap of money. So what that means in English is there is so many stable coins that have yet to be deployed into this market. And ETH and Bitcoin have maintained similar percentage moves of market cap from top to where they currently are. And everything else is just like, it's 85%, 90% down for the most part. And the stable coins are reflecting that. So what I'm anticipating actually is if we do get a bigger pullback into November, the November eclipse, which I've been talking about for a while now, being essentially like the market cycle bottom, for crypto, that move would be probably a huge deployment of stable coins just by looking at how much stable coins are available in circulation right now. So the levels for ETH, holding this level right here would probably be solid, but the technical level would be 1,572. A break below that, you're probably going to go to 1,435, and that's just going to be perfectly backtesting the firmament dome. As for upside, I would say any daily closes above 1,770 would probably engage a move up to the current high of around, I would just call it 1,900 flat, because there was no daily closes above the psychological level of 2,000. So keep that in mind. This market likes psychological levels. Smart traders are always closing positions slightly below those clean psychological numbers. Pro tip. This is very clean as well on XRP. We had this trend line, which was clearly broken, and it was at the same time as everything else. And with that break, we backtested very nicely on this 33 cent level, and 33 cents happening on the 33rd week, and we held support. So unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, this did not make a new lower, not much of a lower low anyways, I mean within a fraction of a penny, and thus far has bounced. But this is a very boring coin at this time. It's trapped between 33 and essentially 38 cents. It can't seem to get closes above that. Yes, there is a slightly noticeable higher low structure in place, but really no higher high structure, so nothing to write home about at this time. This is very boring, and there's really not too much to say. So it's just going to be within these ranges of 33 to 37, and I would just pay attention to that. And 37 isn't weird either, because remember, 37 or 3 sevens, 777, 21 comes back to what I shared before about the Shemitah year. And XRP is very much tied to Jupiter. We've showed that by the code for a while now. We got Ripple giving us that 27 in Chaldean, and Jupiter giving us that 27 in Chaldean. The logo of XRP being the X, or the 24th letter in the alphabet. The logo of the Jupiter zodiac logo is the 24. So if it's tied to Jupiter, it's also tied to Saturn, because Zeus, or Jupiter, is the son of Saturn. So let's end it there. 33 days before the end of the Shemitah. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I am going to be releasing some more information very soon about my upcoming expansion mastermind course, which is set to release on September 1st, alongside a new Patreon membership, which is going to be called Expansion Group Coaching. It's going to be my first time that I ever offer the public group coaching, and it's going to be open to a very limited amount of people. Got a lot of people showing interest and are excited about it. I'm really excited to start that up and to just start the coaching and mentoring at a more higher level, advanced, and have a private Discord for it, and a small community of people to really work hard at changing whatever it is that they're trying to break through, whatever paradigm shift that they're seeking, whether that be financial, health, anything regarding their business, finances, mindset, getting attention back, productivity. That's really what that group is going to be about. So I'm going to be releasing a little bit of a small tutorial video on that a little bit later, releasing that out, showing interest, just to share that because a lot of people have been showing interest. And anyone who joins that Patreon membership, the expansion group coaching, is going to be getting my new expansion mastermind course for free. It's going to be included in that membership. So again, I'm really excited to bring all this value to everyone. I appreciate all your support. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers. Go ahead, share this on your socials, give this video a like, comment for the algorithm. I appreciate every single one of you. Much love.